Have you ever had a thought, a persistent thought, about something you didn't want to happen, but it happened anyway, and it created a ripple effect of events that you would have rather not ensued? Such is the way the mind works, that we think about things that we don't actually want to happen most. And invariably, they cause a series of events that we've in effect created ourselves. So we were talking about thoughts and sometimes how they're so linked to fear and the courage that we need to seek the truth. And it reminds me of a story called The Foolish Rabbit, who was one day sleeping under a tree, and he woke up and he had a thought. And he says, what if the earth were to open up right now and swallow me whole? And as he had this thought, a monkey dropped a coconut from the tree right behind him. Now, of course, this just startled him and shot him into action, and he just ran for his life. The earth is shaking, it's going to open up and swallow me whole. And as he's running through the forest, he gets to the second rabbit and he says, the earth is shaking, it's going to swallow us whole. And then off they go, running through. And then they stop and they tell another rabbit. And then they're all running through the forest until eventually there are 100 rabbits running away from this scene. Eventually, these 100 rabbits, in fear for their lives, encounter a fox. And the fox then says, what are you guys running from? Like, what's actually happening? What's going on? And the fox said, and the rabbit said to the fox, the earth is going to open up and swallow us whole. Run for your life. So the fox joins this run, okay? So now we have 100 rabbits and a fox running through the forest for their lives. They encounter now a deer, and the deer asks the fox, what's going on? Of course the fox says the same thing. So eventually, as they're running for their lives, they encounter a lion, and the lion blocks their path. Where are you going in such a hurry? What are you running from? And of course the deer says, we're running for our lives because the earth is going to swallow us whole. And the lion said, well, have you got any evidence for that? Show me. And the deer said, well, I haven't seen it myself, but that's what the fox said. Well, the fox said, well, I haven't seen it myself. That's what this rabbit said, and he pointed to the 100th rabbit. Well, the 100th rabbit, of course, said, well, I haven't seen it myself, and he pointed to the rabbit next to him. And so on until they went all the way back through the chain to the first rabbit. So the lion says, take me to this place where you know that the earth is going to open up and swallow us whole. So the rabbit escorts him back to the tree where he was fast asleep. And of course they see a coconut right where the rabbit was sleeping. And the lion says, you foolish rabbit, the earth isn't going to open up and swallow us whole. A coconut simply fell behind you. Do you see, we so often have these thoughts that come to our minds. They are based on fear. And the dominating thoughts of our mind that are based on fear, it's helpful for us to see that thoughts are just thoughts. It doesn't make them true. Thoughts aren't things. But it is helpful to ask the question, well, is it true? And that's exactly what the lion did. The lion asked that question. Well, is it true? Show me. So one other thing we can take from this is the courage to find the truth lies in asking that question. So thoughts, no, they aren't necessarily true. They are not things. Thoughts are just thoughts. And the dominating thoughts of our mind, we know, can be so rooted in fear that we need to be able to step back. And if we find that we are trapped in a fear-based response, then summon the courage of the lion to seek the truth. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like if you found it useful, subscribe, share, and if there's anything you want me to talk about in a future video, leave it in the comments below. See you next time. Bye for now.